Welcome back to Mystery Sauce, friends. Today, we are going to explore a disturbing case that shocked the city of St. Paul, Minnesota in 2023. A young mother of three vanished without a trace from her apartment, and the only clue to her fate was her boyfriend, who had a dark and twisted secret. What did he do to her? And why? How did the police uncover the horrifying truth? And is he a serial killer who preyed on other women? Stay tuned to find out. But first, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon below so you don't miss any of our videos. Now, without any further ado, let's dive right into this mystery. St. Paul is the capital and second largest city of Minnesota with a population of over 300,000 people. It is a vibrant city that embraces diversity and fosters a sense of community. It is also rich in history and culture, with many historic neighborhoods and landmarks, such as the Summit Avenue neighborhood, the James J. Hill House, and the Cathedral of St. Paul. According to statistics, your chance of being a victim of violent crime in St. Paul is 1 in 124, and property crime is 1 in 24. However, even in this seemingly peaceful city, a heinous and unthinkable crime occurred in 2023 that shook the city to its core. Menajah Starn was born on May 23, 1989. There is little information about her early life, but records indicate that she had a brother named Nora Starn and possibly other siblings. By the year 2023, at the age of 34, Menajah was a single mother of 3 children. Her residence was a modest apartment located at 1428 7th Street in St. Paul, Ramsey County, Minnesota. It is unclear whether she had ever been married or who the fathers of her children were. Accounts from those who knew Menajah during this time painted a picture of a likable and friendly person. Those who met her spoke of her positivity, patience, and kindness that extended to everyone she encountered, regardless of their background. However, behind these commendable qualities, Menajah struggled with personal demons. She faced the challenges of drug addiction and mental health issues, which were known to her family and friends. These struggles played a role in her children not living with her, as she was trying to overcome her own battles. The circumstances surrounding Menajah's addiction and mental health concerns prevented her from providing a stable environment for her children, who were in the care of other relatives. Despite these challenges, life went on for Menajah until something unexpected happened. On May 1, 2023, the St. Paul police received a distress call from Menajah's father. He reported that his daughter was missing and that he had not heard from her for almost 2 weeks. He revealed troubling details about Menajah's struggles with drug addiction and mental health issues, and said that she had plans to enter a drug treatment center, but failed to show up. The last contact he had with Menajah was on April 18, 2023. When she called him and sounded paranoid and afraid. He said that she was frightened of her boyfriend, whom he did not know much about. He also said that Menajah had a history of disappearing for a few days at a time, but never for this long. He was worried that something bad had happened to her and begged the police to find her. With the call concluded, the officers sprang into action. They went to Menajah's apartment, hoping to find some clues to her whereabouts. Unfortunately, she was nowhere to be found. In their pursuit of answers, the investigators located and interviewed an individual who was identified as the father of one of Menajah's children. He said that he had a cordial relationship with Menajah, and that they shared the responsibility for their son. He said that Menajah would regularly check in on him and their child, and that she was a caring and devoted mother. He said that he had not heard from Menajah since April 21, 2023, and that this was highly unusual for her. He said that it was out of character for Menajah to go more than 8 hours without reaching out to him or their son, and that he was concerned for her well-being. He also said that Menajah had contacted him from various phone numbers in the past, but he did not know who they belonged to. He said that he did not know anything about Menajah's boyfriend or where she might have gone. The investigators also tracked down a neighbor of Menajah who lived in the same apartment building. The neighbor shared a disturbing observation that she had made a few weeks before Menajah's disappearance. She said that she had seen Menajah with a black eye and red marks on her neck as if she had been choked. She said that she was alarmed by the sight and confronted Meneja about it. She asked Meneja if she had been assaulted, and Meneja confirmed that she had. She said that her boyfriend had hit her and strangled her, and that he was abusive and violent. The neighbor said that she urged Meneja to call the police and offered to help her get away from him. However, Meneja refused and pleaded with the neighbor not to involve the police. She said that she loved her boyfriend and that he was not always like that. She said that he had problems with drugs and anger, and that he would get better. She said that calling the police would only make things worse, and that she could handle it. The neighbor said that she was frustrated and scared for Meneja, but respected her wishes. She said that she never saw Meneja again after that day. This revelation added a layer of complexity to the investigation, leading the officers to grapple with the haunting reality that had enveloped Meneja's life. They wondered who this boyfriend was, and what role he played in Meneja's disappearance. They decided to speak with the manager of Meneja's apartment complex, hoping to get some more information. The manager provided them with some valuable insights. He said that Meneja had a boyfriend named Joe, who frequented her apartment, despite not being listed on the lease. He said that he did not know much about Joe, except that he was older than Meneja, and that he drove a pickup truck. He said that he had seen Joe come and go from Meneja's apartment several times, but he did not interact with him. He said that he had not seen Meneja for a while, and that he was worried about her. He said that he had a phone number associated with Joe, which he gave to the investigators. With the obtained phone number in hand, the investigators conducted their inquiries and confirmed that it belonged to a 40-year-old man named Joseph Stephen Jorgensen. They ran a background check on Jorgensen and found out that he had a criminal record, including charges for assault, theft, and drug possession. They also obtained a photograph of Jorgensen and showed it to the manager, who identified him as the man he knew as Meneja's boyfriend. This revelation marked a turning point in the investigation, setting the stage for an unsettling and bizarre series of events to follow. Jorgensen became the prime suspect in Meneja's disappearance, and the police wanted to question him as soon as possible. However, they had no idea where he was or what he had done to Meneja. They needed more evidence to find him and to find out the truth. Luckily, the investigators had a crucial piece of evidence that would help them in their quest: the surveillance cameras situated near Meneja's apartment. The cameras had recorded everything that had happened in and around the building, and the footage was stored in a secure server. The investigators obtained a warrant to access the footage and reviewed it carefully. What they saw was shocking and disturbing. The footage showed that on April 21st, 2023, at around 5:55 p.m., Meneja was seen leaving her apartment in a hurry, looking scared and nervous. She was wearing a hoodie and sunglasses, as if trying to hide her face. She ran down the stairs and headed towards the exit. However, before she could reach the door, Jorgensen appeared from behind and grabbed her by the arm. He forcefully turned her around and pushed her back into the apartment. He looked angry and menacing, and Meneja looked terrified. She tried to resist, but Jorgensen was stronger and bigger than her. He slammed the door behind them, and the camera lost sight of them. This was the last known sighting of Meneja alive. The footage also showed that after that day, Jorgensen was the only person who entered and left Meneja's apartment. He used a key to access the apartment, which he must have taken from Meneja. He visited the apartment a total of 28 times, between April 21 and April 28, 2023. He stayed for varying lengths of time, sometimes for a few minutes, sometimes for hours. He always came alone, and he always carried a backpack or a bag with him. He never looked at the camera, and he always wore a hat or a hood. He acted as if nothing was wrong, and he did not seem to care about Meneja or her fate. What was he doing in her apartment, and what had he done to her? The police had a chilling suspicion, but they needed more proof. The footage also showed that on April 28, 2023, at around 4:55 p.m., Jorgensen made his final visit to Meneja's apartment. This time, he was carrying 2 large duffel bags and a suitcase. He looked heavy and bulky, as if they were filled with something. He loaded the bags into a pickup truck, which was parked outside the building. The truck had a Minnesota license plate NLV 657. He got into the driver's seat and drove away. The police soon discovered that the truck belonged to a man who lived in another apartment building at 89th Century Avenue in Maplewood. The man was Jorgensen's roommate, and he had lent him the truck. The police wondered where Jorgensen was going and what he was taking with him. They had a dreadful feeling that the bags contained Menaja's remains, and that he was trying to dispose of them. They needed to find out where he had gone and what he had done with the bags. The police also discovered that Jorgensen had used Menaja's EBT card, which was a government-issued card that allowed her to buy food and other essentials. They obtained a warrant to access Menaja's EBT account records and found out that Jorgensen had made several transactions with the card after Menaja's disappearance. He had used the card to withdraw cash from an ATM and to buy various items from different stores. The items he bought were suspicious and alarming. They included a cleaning bucket, 2 boxes of saral wrap, paper towels, garbage bags, liquid cleaner, latex gloves, and disinfectant wipes. These were items that could be used to clean up a crime scene or to wrap up a body. He had bought these items multiple times from different locations, as if he was trying to avoid detection. He had also used the card to buy lime, a substance that could be used to speed up the decomposition of a body and to mask the odor. The police were shocked and disgusted by Jorgensen's actions. He had not only killed Menaja, but he had also used her money to cover up his crime. He had shown no remorse, no respect, and no humanity. He had treated Menaja like garbage, and he had to pay for it. The police also learned that Jorgensen had a friend who was identified as ZD. ZD had also used Menaja's EBT card with Jorgensen's permission. The police interviewed ZD and found out that he had only met Menaja once or twice and that he did not know much about her. He said that when he asked Jorgensen about Menaja, Jorgensen told him that she had been admitted to a mental health facility and that he had not heard from her for a while. He said that he believed Jorgensen and that he did not think anything was wrong. He said that Jorgensen had given him Menaja's EBT card and its PIN, and that he had used it to buy some food and cigarettes. He said that he did not know that Menaja was missing, or that Jorgensen had killed her. He said that he was shocked and horrified by the news, and that he regretted ever trusting Jorgensen. He said that he was sorry for what he had done, and that he wanted to help the police in any way he could. The police also obtained a warrant to access Jorgensen's Gmail and Google accounts and found out that he had made some incriminating Google searches after Menaja's disappearance. He had searched for things like jugular, what do police do with a missing persons report, how to clear cookies from an Android phone, how to remove GPS from a Lime scooter, and Lime for soil. These searches showed that Jorgensen had some knowledge of how to kill someone, how to evade the police, how to erase his digital traces, and how to dispose of a body. They also showed that he was paranoid and nervous, and that he knew he had done something wrong. He had tried to cover his tracks, but he had left behind a trail of evidence that the police could follow. Based on the compelling evidence against Jorgensen, the police decided to conduct a thorough search of his apartment, where he lived with his roommate. They obtained a warrant, and on June 26, 2023, they raided the apartment, with the help of a SWAT team. They expected Jorgensen to resist, and they were right. Jorgensen barricaded himself in his bedroom and refused to surrender. He even started a fire in a desperate attempt to destroy any evidence and to harm the officers. He also tried to grab a gun from one of the SWAT officers, but he failed. After a tense and violent struggle, the officers managed to subdue and arrest Jorgensen. He was taken to the hospital for evaluation, and then to the police station for interrogation. He was charged with second-degree murder, arson, threats of violence, and disarming an officer. He faced up to 40 years in prison, if convicted. The police also found 2 other people in the apartment when they arrested Jorgensen. One of them was a woman who was another girlfriend of Jorgensen. She had bruises, scratches, and a red neck, as if she had been beaten and strangled by Jorgensen. She told the police that Jorgensen had abused her and threatened to kill her. She said that he had told her things like, "The neighbors won't hear you scream, and you'll end up like the others." She said that she was terrified of him and that she wanted to get away from him, but she did not know how. She said that she did not know anything about Menaja or what he had done to her. She said that she was glad that the police had saved her and that she hoped that Jorgensen would rot in jail. The other person in the apartment was Jorgensen's roommate, who had lent him the truck. He had locked himself in his own bedroom when the police arrived. He was also taken into custody without resistance. The roommate told the police that he had known Jorgensen for a long time and that they had been friends. He said that he had a traumatic brain injury that had caused him to lose his sense of smell. He said that he worked from Monday to Friday and that he did not interact much with Jorgensen or the women he brought to the apartment. He said that he did not know anything about Menaja or what Jorgensen had done to her. He said that he had noticed a foul smell coming from Jorgensen's bedroom around mid-May, but he thought it was just garbage or rotten food. He said that he had complained to the apartment manager, who had tried to inspect Jorgensen's bedroom, but Jorgensen had refused to let him in. He said that he had seen Jorgensen carrying and dragging large black duffel bags out of the apartment around the same time, but he did not know what was in them. He said that he had lent Jorgensen his truck without asking any questions, because he trusted him. He said that he was shocked and disgusted by what Jorgensen had done, and that he wished he had never met him. The police also searched Jorgensen's apartment and found more evidence of his crime. They found blood in the closet where Jorgensen had started the fire, and in the front closet where the smell had come from. The blood had soaked through the carpet and the pad, and there were signs of other biological material and maggots. The blood matched Menaja's DNA, confirming that she had been killed and dismembered in the apartment. The police also found 2 padlock keys in the apartment, which they suspected belonged to a storage unit, where Jorgensen had hidden Menaja's remains. They checked Jorgensen's phone records and found out that his phone had pinged near an iStorage unit located at 881 Weir Drive in Woodbury on May 18, 2023. They also found out that someone using Jorgensen's roommate's name had rented a storage unit at the facility on May 5, 2023. The access code assigned to the unit had been used to enter the facility, at the same time that Jorgensen's phone had pinged in the area. The police obtained a warrant to search the storage unit and went there on June 28, 2023, 2 days after Jorgensen's arrest. When they arrived at the storage unit, they were greeted by a horrible odor that smelled like decomposing flesh. One of the keys they had found in Jorgensen's apartment fit one of the padlocks on the unit, but they had to cut the other one to open it. Inside, they found several items: a large cooler, a small cooler, a blue duffel bag, a compact carry-on suitcase, and a green tote. The coolers and the bag were wrapped in plastic, and they smelled the worst. The tote contained cleaning supplies, similar to those that Jorgensen had bought with Menaja's EBT card. The police had a strong suspicion that the coolers and the bag contained Menaja's remains, and that Jorgensen had hidden them there. They carefully removed the items from the unit and transported them to the medical examiner's office for further examination. There, they unwrapped the items and confirmed their worst fears. The coolers and the bag contained a human body that had been cut into pieces. The larger cooler had a torso, the smaller cooler had a head, and the bag had the arms and legs. The body parts had been wrapped in multiple layers of saran wrap and plastic bags, as if Jorgensen had tried to preserve and conceal them. The medical examiner conducted an autopsy on the remains and identified them as belonging to Menaja Starn. The identification was established through recognized tattoos and dental records. The cause of death was determined to be homicide by blunt force trauma and strangulation. Menaja had been brutally killed and dismembered by Jorgensen, who had then stored her body in a storage unit like a trophy. The police announced the discovery of Menaja's remains and the arrest of Jorgensen in a press conference on June 29, 2023. They expressed their condolences to Menaja's family and friends and thanked them for their cooperation and patience. They also thanked the public for their tips and assistance and praised the efforts of the officers and the forensic team who had worked tirelessly to solve the case. They said that they had enough evidence to charge Jorgensen with second-degree murder and that they were confident that they would get justice for Menaja. They also revealed a shocking twist, that Jorgensen was not only responsible for Menaja's death, but also for the death of another woman, who had been missing for almost 2 years. The other woman was Fanta Giavong, age 33, another former girlfriend of Jorgensen. she had been last seen in July 2021 in the company of Jorgensen. Her disappearance had not been reported until the police had learned about her from Jorgensen's phone records. They had found out that Jorgensen had rented another storage unit in Blaine, north of Minneapolis, and 30 miles from the unit where Menaja's body had been found. They had searched the unit and found the remains of Fanta Giavong, who had also been killed and dismembered by Jorgensen. The police said that they were still investigating the details of Fanta's death and that they would release more information later. They said that they were shocked and appalled by Jorgensen's actions and that they suspected that he might be a serial killer who had preyed on other women. They urged anyone who had any information about Jorgensen or his other possible victims to come forward and to help them stop him. Jorgensen appeared in court on June 30th, 2023, to face the murder charge for Menaja's death. He shook his head in denial as the prosecutor presented the details of the case. He did not say much, except for his name, when asked by the judge. The prosecutor requested that bail be set at $5 million due to the severity of the crime and the risk of flight. The judge agreed and ordered Jorgensen to be held in custody until his next court appearance, scheduled for August 21st, 2023. Jorgensen's defense attorney did not argue against the bail, but said that he would prepare a comprehensive defense strategy for his client. He did not comment on the other charges or the other victim that Jorgensen was accused of killing. In the aftermath of this harrowing case, the truth surrounding Menaja's untimely demise has been unraveled, and justice is now being pursued. The efforts of law enforcement have brought us closer to understanding the tragic events that unfolded and the twisted mind of Jorgensen. As we contemplate the chilling details of his actions, a haunting question arises. Are we on the verge of uncovering a potential serial killer who has been hiding in plain sight? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Stay safe, and thanks for watching.